Hey there, and welcome to the Art Lab. My name's Andy, and if this is your first time here, don't forget to subscribe so you can see all the videos. Today we're going to make a magnetic bottle opener and cap catcher. I recently made one of these for my brother-in-law, and you can go and check that out on this video card right here. These make fantastic gifts. So step one in the process is to obviously select your piece of wood. I'm just using some pine here, and then step two is work out the placement of your bottle opener. Of course that needs to be at the top, and then I'm on to step three here, which is putting your design down onto the wood. Now I just went through the internet and had a look and found some sort of designs that I quite liked, and I'm just freehanding it here. And of course if you don't like it, you can just get an eraser and rub out the pencil that you've drawn on the wood. For this design I'm doing an abstract sailing boat, and this is actually going to be a gift for my father, who is a keen sailor and he's off on another sailing adventure in the new year, so I thought this would be a great subject matter to have for him on this magnetic bottle opener. So the next step in the process is to freehand the routing. Now this can be a little bit tricky, and I just tried my best. It's a bit like colouring in between the lines, so just making sure that you stay within the lines when you come and route out. Now first thing I do is go around and route out the pencil line, and then I can come into the middle and clear any of the excess material. And to save you a bit of time on seeing all this being routed out, I'm going to speed up the footage for you. Now that we've got that all routed out, you can see some of those lines aren't 100% straight, so this is where we get into that fun piece of woodworking, sanding. Everyone really hates sanding, but it's just essential to try to make things as smooth as possible and as straight as possible. So on with the fun of sanding. I'm going to speed this up for you too. Since I've saved yourself a lot of time having to manually fast forward all this boring sanding part, why don't you take the opportunity to use this time to subscribe to the channel. On Andy's Art Lab, I make things with resin and wood, 3D printing, and everything in between. So if that interests you, hit that subscribe button, and why don't you put subscribed in the comments and I'll reply to you. Time for the next part of the process, and I've got some epoxy resin here that I'm using to seal the wood. Now what I found, and I learnt the hard way, is that if you don't do this step, then any colour that you put in can seep into the wood, and that then gives a sort of fuzzy outline. You don't get a nice sharp epoxy inlay. So this is an essential step that you want to do. I know some other people use different material to do the sealing, but I found just using the epoxy that I normally use to fill this anyway, but untinted, works a treat. And here's another tip for you. So even though you try to get your piece of wood flat and level so the epoxy doesn't run to one side, quite often that can be out just a little bit, and this is where I'm using my glue gun to build a dam around the piece I want to inlay. The glue comes off nice and easily when you come to do the sanding, and so this little trick just means that if it does overflow, that it's stopped by this dam and it doesn't spread any further. As we're cutting down these steps, we're getting closer to the end. So this step here is filling the inlay. Now I'm using some deep pour resin mixed with some blue mica powder to fill these voids, and that's going to give me my sailboat. And this is a catamaran, you can tell by the two hulls there, and the bottom designs are supposed to be waves. So very abstract, but I like the design, and we're getting on to the next step once this dries of sanding, and everyone hates sanding, but it's a necessary evil to get the fantastic result that we want. So now gearing up for sanding, the job that everyone hates. Now just trying to get off this hot glue, and it does come off okay. It can be a bit of a pain, but it's just a bit of perseverance and that comes off. And then we sand it, and we sand it again, and we sand it again. Now it's time to unleash my magnetic personality. This is where we put the magnets on so they can stick to the fridge and also catch the bottle cap. So we've got two different depths here. The first is just to stick to the fridge, so it's quite shallow, and then we do a deeper one, making sure that we don't drill all the way through the board, and that's to catch the cap as it falls down. So here is another Temu purchase, which surprisingly is of great quality, and it's just some cork with sticky backing, and I've used this on both this bottle opener and the one I did for my brother-in-law in the previous video, and it's had great results. This just prevents any wood from scratching your fridge when you're putting it on there. It's a relatively simple process to put it on, just stick the first part down and remove the backing. Now I did make a mistake on one of these boards that I did, and it was a real pain to get off because the cork broke into little bits and pieces, so a bit of a struggle, so try to get it right first time, definitely with this product. So it's time for a bit of wax on, wax off action, and I've just got some food safe wax here, and this really penetrates the wood. Now obviously this is not going to be used for cutting anything on, it's a bottle opener, but I just really like the way that this wax brings the wood to life. In this case it's pine, and it's not the hardest of woods, but perfect for this situation. So now it's time to just screw on the actual bottle opener and to give it a test, and let's see if our beer cap catches. Voila, just like that. Thank you so much for watching Andy's Art Lab. Everyone stay safe, and I will see you in the next one.